everybody. We have just gone through the nuttiest of weeks, and I'm going to try to summarize all the crazy things that happened, and brought to you by Kombucha. So let's get into the story. Thank you to the mods in the chat, Sean D, T&D, and Farrer, and everybody else. Let's go, as they say. This is called What Happened This Week, and of course, not financial advice. And thank you to everybody on Patreon as well. First of all, the last 7 days against Bitcoin, we had Solana having a red day. Solana continues to crush every single metric out there, but the price is being suppressed. Shout out to Wintermute and Binance. They're doing a really good job keeping the price down. Crazy stuff is happening, and we'll get into it. Also, there's some very good news for Ethereum, too, for the Ethereum holders as well. In terms of the week, Bitcoin just shy of 106K. We've had that $105,000 battleground for the longest time. And we'll also talk a bit about Altseason. Again, everyone wants to know, are we going to have one or not? So let's move into the story. And this story today also talks about fighting and convergence and AI and a very weird piece of news I just discovered about OTC desks, which could be very good. First of all, shout out to everybody in the UK. At last, the UK regulator will lift a ban on Bitcoin and Ethereum ETNs for retail investors. Woohoo! We did see, actually, from the community I heard, I think using interactive brokers, some people had already had access to IBIT. So welcome, United Kingdom. Welcome to the future. It's about time. Shout out, I think Jason Holder is from the UK. Woohoo! If there's any more Brits out there, English people out there, congratulations. That's fantastic news. Let's keep on going. This one is a bit of a twisties. This is the ISM. Shout out to Milk Road as well. A very, very bizarre situation. And let me try to break it down. This is the Purchasing Managers Index. It's a sign of economic growth. And by the way, it's very bad right now. But Milk Road decided to create a correlation chart between Bitcoin bull market and the ISM. Now, the latest number came in around, I think, 48.5. So lower than expected. People think the economic slowdown in 2025 is not going to be good. But remember, I think what they're getting at here, and I might be putting words in their mouth, is when the economy is weak, when the ISM falls, the government wants to spur the economy, therefore they print money, therefore Bitcoin goes up. It could be wrong. That's what I see in this chart. And therefore, we could see an upward trend not only in the ISM soon, because it doesn't stay down for too long, because the government stimulates the economy by printing money. That's why we do Bitcoin. And if the ISM does go up, the bull market could go up too. So super interesting little chart. I'm always trying to find things that are a little bit different. And if history repeats, we are still early in the bull market, ladies and gentlemen. Now, funding rates flip negative. Another piece of news as well. The first time we've seen 2 days of negative funding rates near Bitcoin range highs. This means there's more fuel than previous breakouts. So we're seeing a lot of strange stuff burgling up behind the system here. And this could bode very well for Bitcoin in the coming weeks and months, despite it being a summer as well. Also, we did see 3 days of outflows for the Bitcoin ETF, and then came back with 2 nice positive days. So the ETFs are back. If you look back in history, this is since the beginning of time, going back to January 2024, you'll see sometimes the red days can continue for, on average, 6, 8, 12 days. Sometimes there can be a long depression. For example, Feb of 2025 after all the presidential stuff. But normally, the average duration of a dip is between 3 and 5 days. And those 3 days are no strangers. But so far, the run has been pretty good. So we'll watch this very carefully too. And a little bit of the elephant in the room. And it's funny, I always try and find the connectivity between everything. Bitcoiners are loving the fight between the US president and Elon Musk. Elon Musk is basically saying, unless they change something, the country is dead. Debt will kill us all in 5 years. Well, we kind of know that anyway, so it's like stating the obvious. But governments will continue to print. And even though I'm talking about the US government, every government around the world is the same. Whether you're in Japan, Germany, UK, Australia, Canada, Brazil, it's all the same, ladies and gentlemen. You're all stuffed unless you got Bitcoin. That's why I make these videos, just to hammer that message home. But the Bitcoiners are loving this spat because it really makes the case, you know, ostensibly resulting in another, what is it, nearly $3 trillion in debt adding to the spending bill, means the Bitcoin maxis are like, yes. And Musk was already orange pilled. He has Bitcoin. He has Bitcoin in SpaceX. He has Bitcoin in Tesla. But now there's rumors that he might need more because he sees the writing on the wall. He also, this is the week, by the way, just putting things together. I think he responded to Brian Armstrong from Coinbase with the US flag emoji. And that was basically, Brian Armstrong said the US reserve currency, the dollar is dead. Bitcoin could become the reserve currency of the planet. And this is what Elon sees as well. And Robert Leshner believes that this debt crisis could push Elon to buy more Bitcoin. Wouldn't that be crazy if he snagged another $100 billion worth of Bitcoin and the dollar tanks? Anyway, there are people snagging. We'll get to that little secret spicy story in a second. But I have to talk about this too, because I always stress connective tissue. Now we see more convergence between crypto, AI, social, etc. Elon Musk, his ex-Twitter partners with Polymarket, bringing crypto prediction to mainstream markets. We already know X has like a ton of banking licenses to do payments. We also know they're going to bring in real-time quotes for finance, and now Polymarket for crypto prediction. It's all coming nicely together. It's like, I feel like I need to share that A-Team, what is it, the GIF or meme, and the guy is smoking the cigar. I don't know his name, but I do know the meme. And he says, I love it when a plan comes together. It's all coming together, everybody. All coming together. And hopefully, this is from Crypto Beast, hopefully these two are making peace by deleting their tweets. All posts pointed against each other. Maybe some people believe the market will pump on Monday. In fact, Tesla is up in after hours as well. For those who hold Tesla bags, I hope all of you have at least a couple of shares of Tesla. Not financial advice, but it's been a rocky road. But all these assets are too. Anyhow, and Vance, JD Vance, I got DJ Vance, DJ Marty Party, says he wants Elon Musk to return to the team. Hopefully it's all just contrived. It's all nothing, but fingers crossed. Anyway, on a more serious note, after all that spat stuff, insurance companies race to create an insurance product. And I remember way back in the 90s, there was a product called K&R, Kidnap and Ransom. It's a tailored insurance product to help. I don't know exactly know. I know it didn't probably pay ransoms, but it helped orchestrate the rescue of people who had been kidnapped. But there's been a massive increase in the wave of violent attacks on crypto holders all over in the UK, in different parts of Europe and Asia and South America. And it's pushing insurance companies to develop protections aimed at this growing physical threat, i.e. kidnapping for crypto. All the crypto boros. I wonder if they did come up with an insurance policy, can you pay for it in Bitcoin? Wouldn't that be logical? Anyway, this is coming, and I'm sure some of the OGs would buy it. But then you see people like, Michael Saylor just walking the halls of conference floors like nobody, and he's a Bitcoin billionaire many times over. So, some people don't sweat it, but some people are exposed. So hang tough, everybody. And remember, quick reminder, scammers are everywhere. I will never reach out to you. There are hundreds of impersonators saying WhatsApp me and call me and come to my special Telegram group. There's 18 of me on Telegram. I've never been on Telegram in my life. So remember, I'll never reach out. I don't have time for that, nor would I ever do that. Anyway, moving on. The last 12 months of performance, another interesting little chart here. Bitcoin, gold, NASDAQ 100 have all been the top performers of major assets, continuing a 2-year trend of leadership across these different assets. Let me try to zoom in. I wonder if they stick NVIDIA on there. No, they didn't. But you can see Nikkei 225 negative. Crude oil down 22%. Ethereum down nearly 30%. That's not good when Bitcoin's up nearly 60% just for the last 12 months. If you go the last 2 years, it's even more extreme. Gold up 40% over the last 12 months. Gold had its best year in 20 years, everybody. Not because gold is good. It's because everything else is so bad, everybody. It's only a matter of time before, guess what? The normies figure out that Bitcoin is the new gold. We're ready. It's exciting. I'm very excited. It's Saturday. Weather's nice. And shout out to the ETH holders. Spot Ethereum ETS post a 14-day inflow. I have a little wager going with Mando, by the way, on this over the next price over the next 3 months. So it'll be interesting to see how it pans out. But somehow, maybe Mr. Mando had some insider information. There's a couple of things happening. One, 14-day inflow run. I think the whole year today is $3 billion, which is massive. But that's extremely unusual. Something is happening with Ethereum. I think, my gut tells me, maybe staking is coming, and that's why it's pumping. We'll see. Either way, it's good for the space, and I'm very happy to see ETH, which has been beaten to death, as we saw on the previous chart. Worst performing asset, worse than oil, worse than Japan, worse than copper. It's been brutal for the ETH holders, but it's good to see they might just still have their day in the sun. Let's go. And dApp revenue versus chain revenue. This is, again, from Blockworks. Pretty cool little chart. Solana still leads in all dApp revenue across all blockchains. 60% of all crypto revenue on applications comes from the Solana blockchain. Yet, it trades at nearly a quarter of the market cap of ETH. ETH does 16% of all dApp revenue, and Binance in third place does 11%. The rest are crumbs and negligible. The winner takes most, and Solana still kills it. By the way, it is very interesting that since January, revenue just crashed, but it's beginning to peak up again. I don't know what happened, and I think crypto got turned off maybe because of all the tariff tensions and everything else. Who knows? DEX in the UK, hello, Fifth Wave, hello. Of course, Sean D, Bitcoin Maxi Mike. The whole gang is here and far. So let's go. And dApp revenue versus chain revenue. Another visual, because people say, well, how do the blockchains make money? Well, they do, but it's interesting. You can see here, the dApps themselves have eclipsed the actual blockchains. Okay, now the dApps actually make more money than the blockchains. dApp revenue is in blue, blockchain revenue is in pink, and the chain that makes most. So this breakdown is actually 56% dApp revenue, 46% blockchain revenue. Very important. And of course, if you are a developer and you want to make something that makes money, where are you going to build? You build on green. It's not hard, everybody. And that's why the more developers, the better the dApps, the more adoption, the more the revenue. It's not hard. Now, this is another big story too. I'll type up myself in the top left corner. OTC desk balances crash. I've been a little bit concerned about this. I track this every single week. I don't talk about it a lot, but I keep my eye on it. And literally, this is bonkers. About 3.5 weeks ago, the balance on OTC desks is about 236,000 Bitcoin. And I'm sitting there watching Saylor stack, all these Treasuries stack. And I was like, where are they getting their Bitcoin? The OTC desk balance was not falling. And then I got very suspicious, thinking, maybe it's paper Bitcoin, the kiss of death. But thank goodness. All of a sudden, the OTC desk balance crashed 113,000 Bitcoin in 3.5 weeks. Now, the reason that matters, if that same amount of consumption happens over the next 3.5 to 4 weeks, guess how much is left in the OTC desks? 0. And that, for me, is fun. So, we'll see. I'll continue to monitor this so you don't have to. And Circle IPO. Sometimes I mock TradFi. I come from that world myself, so I'm kind of mocking myself. But who cares? I do this for fun. But the Circle IPO leaves a crap ton on the table. Okay, this is crazy. The investment bankers Originally, we're going to IPO this at $27, $28 range, and then they bumped it up to like $31. This thing's now trading at 115, okay? Which means they left billions on the table. It is up 167% from its IPO price. The TradFi investment bankers that were pricing this puppy had no clue how to price a stablecoin company like Circle. Zero clue. Zero clue. It's most of, and normally, I've been looking at IPOs for like 35 years. Normally, they go down gradually after the IPO. This one is different, which tells me this time is different, which shows me, I've been saying for years, stable coins are very, very important. They are the fuel that runs crypto. And the fact that this IPO is such a success is, again, a huge feather in our caps. So well done, ladies and gentlemen, for being part of it. Let's carry on. Now, speaking of other things that are happening, is the Treasury Mojo fizzling out? Saylor Bitcoin copycats fall behind as speculative pop fizzles. Ronaldo, obrigado. You sound like a Brazilian in the UK, which is probably right. Let me know if you are. The Treasuries. Again, as you know, I'm big on Bitcoin Treasuries, have been since my third ever YouTube video with MicroStrategy. But this one is interesting because I do see a lot of this happening. A lot of companies that jump into this whole Bitcoin Treasury thing, they tend to be zombies, okay? They're trying to boost their share price, and they're copying the Saylor playbook. But this corporate panacea is not perhaps the panacea it once seemed. Let's check in on my NAV premium model for Treasuries. A couple of things did happen, and this article didn't call out Semler in particular, but I will today. I've been a little bit concerned about companies like Marathon for a long time. They're at 1.09. So basically, if you invest $1 in Marathon, you get 92 cents on the dollar in pure Bitcoin. So only 8 cents is the actual enterprise itself, and they have a lot of value. They got millions of miners, and they got a lot of IP, and they got a lot of infrastructure and real estate and all that type of stuff. But the NAV premium is really low. But Semler fell out of bed. It's now selling at a discount, 0.82 to the amount of Bitcoin they have in the balance sheet. Remember, CEP is a different case because that's going to flip into another company at the end of the year. So you get like, I don't know, $10 in the dollar. So it's a different kettle of fish. Ignore that for now. Thank you, Bitcoin Maximike, for being here. And we have Scotland in the house too. But this is bonkers. Thank goodness, though, MicroStrategy is holding up a 1.7 NAV premium, still very strong. And as usual, Saylor will continue to buy every single week. But yes, the shine is coming off the Treasuries. Treasuries are no longer a get-rich-quick scheme for your flailing stock, your zombie company. So be careful out there. If you're jumping onto some of these Bitcoin Treasuries, many of them will go. And I also have a theory that these companies imploding that build Bitcoin bags may be forced to dump them, which could trigger a bear market. I could be wrong, but again, looking around the corner, that's one option I do see as well, which is a concern. Now, rumors again. These rumors have been going around since the year 2024. This is from Crypto News. The AI image is horrible. You need to get better at doing that. But here, apparently, Saylor this week said he wants to be on Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan reached out to his audience on Twitter and said, who do you want as a guest? And people normally say, I'd love to see you and Saylor talk. But Saylor jumped on and said, bring me on. And I pretty much almost certain it's going to happen. So that'll be a great conversation. And it'll be like a 3-year marathon of these great minds. And I think anyway, with all that's happened lately, I'm pretty sure that Joe Rogan is already orange pilled. So it could be fantastic. Now, speaking of not being orange pilled, Michael Burry jumps in, and shout out to Bravos Research as well. Burry goes into a major 1 million share NVIDIA short. He bought a truckload of puts. He's also short Baba, JD, Baidu, all the Chinese stocks he's short, and short NVIDIA. Now, sometimes I talk about jumping in front of a freight train. This could be jumping in front of a freight train because NVIDIA powers AI. AI is huge. There's infinite demand for their things. What's he thinking going short NVIDIA? I don't know. And the move is significant. But remember, NVIDIA makes up 6.5%, I think, of the S&P 500. And it is a key driver of all things AI, which I talk about all the time. And P.S., I'm long NVIDIA. I'm not short NVIDIA. So we'll see how this pans out for Burry. But these guys, I mean, he's like, reminds me of the new Jim Chanos. Burry was great. He did peg the real estate crisis, but since then he's been a bit of a one-trick pony. But anyway, shout out to Michael Burry. We'll see. Timing is everything. I would not jump in front of this freight train. And a little bit of scary news too. The rise of what's called what I call the 2-hour employee. It's coming. Companies like Amazon already have 750,000 robots. They have more robots than they do employees across the country. And the humanoids typically cost about $2 an hour compared to human wages, which is many multiples of that. But they need them to scale and address labor shortages. The US faces a 20 million worker deficit for these types of jobs. China has a 30 million worker deficit at least, and it's growing very fast as the population ages. And humanoids require no infrastructure because they're designed to fit into the existing workspace of a human. This is Optimus playing games with your child in the very near future. $2 an hour, maybe even less if you can buy one for $30,000, $40,000. They're coming, everybody, and it's going to be exciting. In fact, this is Helix from a company called Figure AI. And they will do 60 minutes of uninterrupted logistic work at the pace of a human. And they have now incorporated touch, short-term memory, and performance continuously gets better over time. Yes, they run at the speed of humans now, but soon this puppy, if it can charge in its station, will be able to work at 2 or 3 times faster than a human, but do it 23 hours a day, maybe 24 hours a day. Watch it. It's coming, and it's big, and it's going to help countries grow. But there is a growing concern. Shout out to Adam Livingston, the AI doom loop. This is a little bit scary, but again, it's important to share all perspectives. But we are already seeing a housing collapse right now. There's a complete glut of housing for sale in many markets around the world. There's also a lot of theory that AI is wiping out millions of jobs. I see that in some of the data that I look at. There's also a jobless homeowners panic sell, which means if people lose their jobs, they're forced to sell their houses because they can no longer keep out the very expensive 7% mortgage rates, etc. And that will cause the prices of homes to bleed. Homes are where people have all their wealth and assets. Consumer spending implodes. And then the government will print trillions of UBI to fix it and bring the market back. So the point of this, I don't want to be an AI doomer, but I do want to point out, be ready, be positioned, start managing your assets carefully, conserve cash until the government prints trillions. So you just got to ride the wave and get to that next phase as well. Finally, meme du jour. Thought this one was hilarious. I thought it was funny. End on a positive note, ladies and gentlemen. This is a father and son. Remember, son, these are your tax-free years. Make the most of them, because we know you work your life to earn money that you get taxed on, and then you buy assets you get taxed on, and then you leave your assets to somebody else you get taxed on, and you spend something you get taxed, and you buy something it's just never ending. I thought that was hilarious. Moto89, thank you for coming. Hope you all like the show. Happy Saturday, everybody. Thank you for coming. That was the week recap. It was a rocky one, but we made it. Next week will be better. And watch those OTC desks. Thank you again. Sean D, TND Tesla, Moto89, Crypto Rouge, DAX in the UK, everybody else, you take care of yourselves. See you tomorrow. Live Q&A. Bye-bye. Oh, I need to set my outro video. Didn't do that yet. There you go. Good night.